Guys, welcome back to Masters of Malaysian Cuisine Season 6, session number 7. This is Jackie M, and we are so incredibly privileged to welcome Francis Kuijk in the Netherlands. Francis is part Dutch, part Indonesian, was born in Australia, I believe, or born in, well, she was raised in Australia, so you will pick up her Australian accent, but she is based firmly over in the Netherlands, and tonight she's going to be cooking an Indonesian dish from her most recent cookbook. And we have Chef Johari Edrus of Masters of Malaysia, who is going to be co-hosting from Kuala Lumpur. And welcome again, guys. Make sure you say hello. Let us know where you're watching from, and do a hashtag live if you're watching it live, and hashtag replay if you're watching a replay. Also, don't forget to sign up at malaysianchefs.com/join today, because this is how you can get a hold of our e-magazines where all the recipes are going to be located from our MOMC flagship series. Okay, before we bring our guests in to say hello, let us just play a quick clip from Tourism Malaysia, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
We're ready to go. Come on, come on, come on. Gotta make a move to get there right now. Somewhere nice so we can get away. Better than the ordinary day. You're my paradise. Malaysia, truly Asia.
Hey guys, Jackie M again from Masters of Malaysian Cuisine, and welcome back again. Don't forget to say hello, and also if you've got any questions during this session, just make sure you pop them in the comments, and we will make sure that Chef Joe or I will hop back in to ask them of Francis, so she can cover all your cooking questions and any questions related to Indonesia and related to the Netherlands, and even related to Australia, which she called home for a number of years. Okay, and I'm going to let Chef Johari and Francis to this, and I'll be back in a little while to join you guys back here. All the best, guys.
Thank you. Hi, Francis.
Hi. Hello. I think it's evening for you.
Yeah, here it's still it's afternoon here in Kuala Lumpur.
Afternoon, yes.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Well, here it's 9 in the morning.
Oh, 9 in the morning. Yeah, still early in the morning, still fresh. It's summer, right?
It's winter. It's almost winter now. It's actually quite cold at the moment. We're down to about 7 degrees.
Yeah, it's winter, right? True,
yeah.
So, what are we cooking today, anyway?
Well, today I'm making comfort food, I always call it. We're making Biji Salak, which is really a sweet potato dumpling dessert. So that's what I'm going to start with. Shall I go?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, well, the first thing we're going to do is start with the coconut sauce. The dish is made with 3 components. We do a caramel-based liquid, we do the dumplings, and we do the coconut sauce. We're going to start with that right now. Okay. So here I've got coconut milk going into the saucepan. And
so are you using the fresh? Are you using fresh or the can or the box?
No, I'm using coconut milk out of a packet. We buy them in litre packets here. I've got the coconut milk going in. I'm going to put a little bit of vanilla in, about a teaspoon.
Okay.
I've got a bit of salt, because you want a bit of savoury in there. About a 1/4 teaspoon of salt going in.
Right.
And I've got 2 pandan leaves.
Pandan, is it a frozen one or fresh one?
This is actually, this one is actually frozen. I bought them fresh and put them in the freezer. We can get here at home, we can get fresh. So I knot these so that they're a little bit easier to handle. Put them into the saucepan. And we're going to bring that to the boil. And once it's boiled, I'm going to allow it to steep for the rest of the time that we are cooking, or at least I'm cooking.
All right.
So that goes to the boil now. And then while that's cooking, I'm going to start with the sweet potato dumplings. Now, I find that I steam pretty much everything, including my potatoes. Oh, here we go.
Your
Let's come to the boil. That's good, and we will leave that now just to set and in this for the flavors of the pandan really to infuse.
Yes, yes.
So for the sweet potato dumplings, I've already steamed the sweet potato. About 250 grams goes in here, and I find that you can do this the day before, and you can when you need to make a puree out of this, you can choose to use a stick blender, but I find it makes the sweet potato really stodgy. So I still just use it the old-fashioned way, and just use a fork to make the puree. Just to mash it up nice and fine. That's all you need to do. So I cut it into blocks, and I'll probably steam them for about 10 minutes. It doesn't take very long. And steaming food, anything, just contains so much more flavour. It's healthier for you. It maintains the flavour of your vegetable.
Okay. For the sweet potato, you cut into cube, then you boil, or you boil the whole potato then?
No, I cut it into cubes.
Yeah.
And then I steam it.
And peel off, yeah? You peel the skin and cut into cube and boil it.
Peel it, cut it into cubes, and then steam it. 10-15 minutes is plenty.
Yeah. Just only in the ordinary water, just no sugar, nothing in it.
No, just steaming it. So I have a basin, put the water on underneath, and then I have a pan that goes on top.
Okay.
And I lay it in there. So it's actually steamed. It's not actually cooked in water. Okay. It's just better. The flavour is better.
Better.
So
right. You're right.
Just going to add that to here. And then into the puree, I'm going to add some tapioca flour.
Tapioca flour.
Yeah, tapioca flour, about 100 grams.
Can we use the, if no, they don't have any tapioca, can we replace with corn flour?
Not really. I find that tapioca has the best texture for this.
Yeah.
You could, but these little dumplings are incredibly light and fluffy, and I get the best result using tapioca.
All right.
So it's just a matter of mixing this. It takes a little bit of tender loving care to get this nice.
Right. So now you're making like a dough, eh?
Yes, now I'm making a dough. It's still quite dry at the moment, but as you go, I find that as you mix it, you'll see whether it needs to have a little bit more liquid or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will probably add just a touch of water to this.
Yeah.
And then when I say a touch, I'm doing like a tablespoon at a time, just to make sure that it doesn't get too wet. My coconut smells beautiful in that saucepan here.
So instead the yellow one, you can also use the blue sweet potato, yeah?
Yes, you can. You can use it. We here in Holland we can buy two sorts. We buy the purple one and the orange one, but you can use either one.
In Malaysia, we have blue, we have this yellow one, we have the white one.
Oh yes, the white. In Australia, we have the white one as well.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I'm just going to grab a dish. Now, right now, all I'm going to do is I've got my dough. All I'm going to do now is make my dumplings. Now, the dough is quite pliable. It's quite a soft dough.
Okay.
And I'm making little balls, the size of walnuts, small walnuts. So just rolling those.
Yeah.
Doesn't take too long, actually. The whole dish probably only takes about half an hour to make.
Norman say good morning to you. Francis, Norman say good morning to you. Norman.
Norman is? Oh, good morning, Norman.
Yeah. And there are many on board now watching you.
Nice.
So this is going to be
No.
just a plain one. There's no inti, there's no filling inside it.
No fillings, because your gula Jawa sauce, I think it's Malacca sauce in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Quite rich. It's quite rich, and of course, you've not only got the Malacca sauce, but you've also got the coconut sauce that's going into it as well.
Okay.
So you don't want too many flavors going on. These complement each other really well.
Right.
This
So
is such.
later on, are you
This dough
going
is
to steam it,
beautiful.
or are you going to boil it? The dumpling, are you
Sorry?
boiling it or are you steaming?
No, we're going to be boiling it in the Malacca sauce. It's
Okay,
a little bit like if you're making a ravioli and you pop it into the saucepan. Once it comes to the top, it's pretty much cooked and doesn't need a lot more.
Okay.
So out of a recipe, I probably get about 22, 24 dumplings.
Yeah. You can replace this with the pumpkin as well, right?
Yes, you can. You can do pumpkin. And actually, depending on how many people I have and how many people I'm making this dish, I sometimes also add pieces of banana and other pieces of pumpkin as well. But then I just add them in as pieces and not in the dumpling mixture.
Yeah.
Beautifully soft dough.
Yeah.
And it really didn't, like I said, it doesn't have much in this dough. It just has the sweet potato and the tapioca flour.
Okay.
Little bit of salt, and that's it.
Many of them say that they can't wait to see the final result.
Nice. It's a shame you all can't taste the final result.
This recipe in your new cookbook?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
My new cookbook.
Maybe while you are not making the ball, you can say something about your cookbook, so maybe the rest can hear something about it.
Yes. No. Well, this cookbook, my latest cookbook, is in Dutch. It is called Bersama, and Bersama in Indonesian means together. And it is the theme throughout my whole book. It's food for sharing. You know, I think that food and cooking, it brings people together. And that's one of the things I love about our Asian food culture, is that it does exactly that. You know, my happiest memories are around the kitchen, cooking, cleaning bean sprouts and preparing food with my mum. And at the dinner table, of course. You know, and the other thing, and which I think is the same for many Asian foods that we eat, you don't actually have to sit at the table to eat it. You sit in a chair with a bowl in your hand. And that's what I love about this dish. It's that type of comfort food. Right, I'm just going to duck away and so I can clean my hands. I have now finished the dumplings. You can see that they're just, you know, little balls. So we're going to move on to making the sauce that it's going to boil in.
Yeah.
So I've got this sitting here. The coconut sauce I'm just going to put aside so that it can continue steeping. This saucepan, I am tipping in about 1,200 mils of water.
Okay.
And I have grated Malacca. Now, I don't know how you can, there are so many ways that you can buy it. Here in Holland, we have the whole tube, or a cylinder actually, or you have the little discs. And I prefer to work with the cylinder, which is a tip from me, because it is so much softer to work with. And for this recipe, I just grate it. It's the best way. I don't have to chop it. It's much easier than chopping. Just get the grater and grate it fine. So I'm putting in here 150 grams of Malacca, or gula Jawa is what we call it here.
Gula Jawa, yeah. Indonesia call it gula Jawa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we call it gula Malacca. You know, in the northern part where I come from, they call it gula geret.
Gula geret. Is that different? Is it all exactly the same?
Yeah. It's all the same. Actually, geret is a bicycle.
Yes. Oh,
So you buy the bicycle, so we call it gula geret. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got water in here. I've got the gula java, and I've got sugar going in
Sugar,
here.
you still need sugar. Okay.
Yep. And yeah, because it's not sweet enough on its own. I've got 2 pandan leaves.
Yeah.
Knock them so that they're easier to handle.
Okay.
And I'm just popping these in the saucepan now.
Yes. Our Nusantara cooking everywhere will be pandan leaf, yeah?
Yes. I'm not pandan. I actually have a workshop tomorrow night where we're making pandan cream truffles.
Okay. Or you can make the pandan and the gula Jawa agar-agar.
Yes. Oh, love it. Favorite food. Favorite food.
Yeah.
There's so much. I love cooking. I just love food, and there is so many wonderful flavors. So it's a joy. This is for me. It's a good way to start my day cooking.
So, which part of Indonesia your family origin?
My family comes from Middle Java.
Okay.
Which is typically our cuisine is a sweet cuisine. So our dishes contain sweetness compared to some other parts of Indonesia. But it's actually had a trip planned this year, a culinary trip for 21 days.
Okay.
And we were doing filming and visiting so many beautiful places and doing a lot of culinary activities.
Okay.
But of course, because of Corona, we had to cancel. So, maybe next year.
Okay. Met any family members there?
No, I don't have any. My family lives. My direct family all lives in Australia, and the rest live here in Holland.
Okay. Which part of Australia?
Brisbane in Queensland, a sunny country.
Okay. So then you moved to Netherlands, yeah?
Yes, I did. I moved to the Netherlands for love, and it's a wonderful country. And I very much enjoy living here. I think my home is in 2 places now.
Mm-hmm. Any of your family members cooking too?
My 2 sisters cook a lot, and actually my 2 younger brothers do as well. So it didn't start out that way for my brothers, but they're definitely enjoying it now.
They cook Indonesian food as well.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Very much
so.
So
normally, Francis, let's tell the audience, normally what kind of food do you have back in Netherlands? I mean, your simple food at home.
My simple food at home, well, I have to admit, probably 4 or 5 times a week we would eat Indonesian food. And if I'm talking simple food, it'll be one dish, it'll be chicken and rice, or vegetables and rice, or fish and rice. And the other times we probably eat Dutch food or whatever it is, something else. But simple food, I'm a fan of less is more. So I will very often cook something that is very simple, because to me that's comforting.
Okay.
I think I'm probably happiest with tempeh, rice, and sambal.
Okay.
Right, now this is coming to a boil now slowly, and once it comes to a boil, I'm going to be adding the dumplings. So I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. It's a shame you can't actually see in the pot.
And for us in Asia, hot steamed rice, sambal, and a grilled fish, that would be a nice, lovely meal already.
Yes.
The sugar is boiling? Or?
The sugar is boiling. The syrup is boiling. So I'm going to be adding the dumplings. And the dumplings actually go to the bottom of the saucepan now. And in a few minutes, they will start to rise. Doesn't take very long.
Okay.
Right, now in the
In
meantime,
Malaysia, we have something similar to your yeah.
and
I
what's
think the line
similar
is
to
not
this?
so good, yeah? Breaking
What
off.
what is it called in Malaysia, this dish?
We have something similar, but we use the same dough. We call it cucur badak. But inside there, we stuff with the grated coconut, cooked with the dried shrimp, some sambal or some spice, and then stuff into the dough, and then we flatten it just like a small slider and deep fry. And we call it cucur badak.
Cucur badak. Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to have to ask Norman to make me that.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this is coming to a boil again. It was at the boil to start with. I added the dumplings, and now it's coming up to a boil again. And slowly, I can see that some of the dumplings are beginning to rise. Now, in the meantime, I've made a cornstarch paste, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with a little bit of flour, and I'll prepare that. Once the dumplings have come to the surface, they're pretty much cooked. And I will add the sauce just to thicken it a little bit. And then this dish is almost ready. I mean, you've seen how quickly this is made. It's almost there now.
Jackie saying she loves cucur badak.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's another one similar to this one. Also, they use the same dough, and they make it into like a small donut, and then they deep fry this donut. After that, they will swirl in the sugar, and we get all sugar crispy around this donut. And also quite nice. They call it cucur kria, yeah.
Oh dear.
Then,
loving this
no
food.
No one willing to do you anytime the cucur badak.
Good deal. Right, now, a lot of these, my dumplings have come to the surface, so I'm going to add my cornstarch mixture just to give the syrup a little bit of thickness. And then I'm going to allow this to simmer for about 5 minutes. And then it's almost ready for serving. That's all it needs, really. This is how easy this dish is.
So, Francis, this one you are cooking it hot, sweet, but can we chill it in the fridge and we can have it the next day?
You can do that. I do it sometimes because I have a household of 2, so we can't eat everything that I cook. But I find that the fresh dumplings, when they're freshly made, they just do taste the best because they're softer. Tapioca flour doesn't do well if you leave it to sit very long. Right. So you can warm it up, or even in the microwave you can warm it up, but it doesn't get better. Put it that way. It doesn't get better. It can be done, but it's not ideal. Yeah. Right. Well, these are pretty much done.
They are floating up now?
Yes, they are. They're beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. So I'm going to just dish this up because it's just needed to simmer for a few minutes, and it's done that. So now it's time for serving. It's ready.
Okay.
So I might put it in a transparent bowl because it's easier to see. So we have a few dumplings. They look nice. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And then we have some sauce that I'll put on it.
The coconut milk, yeah.
I'm not a fan of a lot of coconut milk, but it's a matter of what everybody likes.
Okay.
This is done. It is that simple. I think we were maybe 20 minutes altogether, half an hour if you include all of the preparations, the steaming of the of the sweet potato, maybe half an hour for the whole dish, and it's ready to eat. And it's gorgeous. I wish you could taste it, but I think I'm going to taste it on my own.
Please go ahead.
See how gorgeous they are? I don't know if you can you see them?
Okay.
Yeah, you can see them, can't you?
Yeah. So how do you say bon appetit in Dutch?
Eat smakelijk. Eat smakelijk.
Okay. Selamat makan.
It's it's gorgeous.
Too hot.
Love it.
Be careful. Don't burn your tongue.
No, I know it's too hot. I just wanted to cut it, but you can't actually cut them. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow, yum. Nice.
I see that soft and sweet. Yeah. Everybody
So
say,
that's
"Oh, yummy already."
food. Yeah, it is yummy. I'm sorry you can't taste it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, I love the fact that Chef Joe, have you ever come across Biji Salak in Malaysia?
No, I never seen, but we have something similar that is in Malaysia. We make a different kind of color potatoes. Yeah, we have this blue. We have the blue, the sweet potato, the white one, the yellow one. Sometimes they replace the yellow one with pumpkin, and they make it into small ball. And they did not boil in the milk. Sorry, in the sugar, but they boil in the coconut milk.
Yeah.
They simmer it. So simmer it. Yeah. Then after that, you sprinkle with some the gula melaka sauce or maybe a normal syrup. Yeah. That also you can see in Thailand. In Thailand as well. Yeah.
Okay.
You can see all the three this kind of dessert. Yeah.
We have a similar dish in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Bubur cacat, you don't do dumpling. Bubur cacat, you cut all the potato into cube. It's a more to a raw potato. It's a mixture. It's a dough you mix together with the ubi kayu, tepung ubi kayu, the tapioca flour, and then become into a dumpling.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? How we use the same ingredients, the same flavors, come out with like different iterations. It's fascinating. That's the beauty of Indonesia. For people who are always confused between Indonesian and Malaysian and that sort of stuff, sometimes there's not a lot of difference. Sometimes the same dish goes by a different name in our two countries, and sometimes the same name means different things in our countries as well. I love how diverse it is, right?
For me, if I'm athletic with this dish, what I do, I will cook in the braise in the coconut milk, slightly thicker, dish out, and then top up with nice spicy sambal and savory dessert.
Nice.
All right. Well, Chef Joe, you're going to have to do that for us. Maybe in one of our Mat John sessions or something. Badak berendam. Badak berendam. Yeah.
It's almost like badak berendam.
How this is called Biji Salak. I remember when I was in Malaysia one time, someone gave me buah salak to try. Do you know buah salak?
Buah salak,
It looks like a leathery, sort of thing. So maybe this dish is named after the fruit.
It is named after the fruit, and biji is actually a seed.
Yeah, that's right. It's like salak seed or something like that, right? But
the earlier one, like I'm talking to Francis, like Malaysia, we call it buah melaka. Actually, it's not fruits. It's just dumpling, flour dumpling stuff, and they call it buah melaka.
That's right. Buah melaka is actually onde.
The other one, like in Malaysia, we have favorite noodle. We call it mi bandung, and we go to Bandung, the mi never exists at all. It's only in Malaysia we call it mi bandung.
Yeah. And then it gets Indonesians really upset. That's part of the reason why we had this series as Nusantara, cooking with Friends of Nusantara, because I think, Indonesia and Malaysia has always had this kind of like slight rivalry about who owns what cuisine. It's a good way to bring it all together and show everyone that we don't have to fight. There's so much to share as far as Indonesian, Malaysian, Brunei, Singaporean food and all that, right? That, there's enough to go around, and there's enough.
There is enough.
preferences. Yeah, sort of thing. Okay, Francis, I wanted to ask you actually, did you fall in love with Indonesian cooking later on in life, or have you always cooked Indonesian food from when you grew up?
Well, from when I've grown up, really, because we're in a household where Mum pretty much only cooked Indonesian food, a little bit of Dutch, but mostly Indonesian. And I come from a big family, so I was one of 6 children. So eventually, when I was 14, my mother said, right, you need to get into the kitchen, which I did. And I got to do all kinds of things. I baked because my mother didn't like to bake, and that's why I did the bake-off, obviously. But I have always known that Indonesian food is at the heart of my cuisine. So for me, it was always, this is where my heart is, and this is what I love to cook, and this is what I do.
That's brilliant. And also that whole Dutch thing, right? And how long ago did you move to the Netherlands, did you say?
In 1990. It's actually, yes, and it's actually quite funny because my mother spoke Dutch and English and Indonesian all mixed up. Yeah, so she had her own little language. And so when I came to Holland, I thought anything that wasn't English must have been Dutch, but it wasn't. So apparently I would say things sometimes that was in Indonesian, except I didn't know. And so I had to learn to speak the language properly. I used to read a lot of Dutch, so I knew I could make myself heard. But I learnt the language properly here.
Oh, you'll have to give some lessons to Norman Musa, because I know he's trying to brush up on his Dutch. Have you ever tested your Dutch on him, or his Dutch? Has he ever tested Dutch on you?
No, because I like speaking English.
Oh.
So we speak English.
Okay, no. You need to put his feet to the fire and tell us how his.
There you go.
Dressing.
All right, Norma, you're in for it, Norman.
He's not allowed to speak English around you from now on.
All right, deal.
I hear that Dutch is a really tough language to pick up, though. Is that the case?
It is.
Oh, it is, right?
Very much so. When I first moved here, I actually took lessons, and it just made no sense. You know, there are a lot of rules in the language, grammatical rules, and I would say, well, why do you do that? Well, we just do. It's just really difficult to do. But you know, it's about the little word, it's the prepositions, that kind of thing that's hard.
Yeah, sure. Well, at least you've got the whole worlds now.
Well, the other thing is, if I go to a restaurant in Amsterdam and I speak Dutch, they will hear my accent and automatically speak English back.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's a bit of a lost cause. They kind of like, no, it's easier for us to speak English.
Yeah.
Okay, Norman was saying he like to speak. Norman saying he like to speak Netherlands.
Ik leer Nederlands. Is that right? Ik leer Nederlands.
Ik leer Nederlands. Oh, he's doing well. Really good.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some grammatical errors there. Well, that was a wonderful recipe, Francis. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Your latest cookbook is called Bersama, and what's your first cookbook called?
Basis Indonesia, so basic Indonesian cuisine. So we do the fundamentals. I've got quite a few chapters in there about all the spices, the herbs, the things that we use, and how to use them and how to prepare them, ranging from the rice that we cook for our fried rice with to glutinous rice. And then I go through all of the recipes that are well known here in Holland, all the ones that are the fundamental basics of our cuisine, right to the speck cook, you know, the 1,000-layer cake. It's all in there. And then this book, my new book, is the follow-up, and it's more about food for sharing. You know, the babi guling, is that the same in Malaysian? Babi guling, it's like a pork roast all rolled up.
All right.
Around thing, yeah. So we've, you know, that's party food, that's festival food. So we do all kinds of different dishes like that are perfect for sharing for family gatherings.
Sure. So are your cookbooks in English or in Dutch?
At the moment, they're still just in Dutch. I have to get them for you.
Everyone's got a Dutch, guys.
There you go. So if you work on your Dutch, everyone, but no, at the moment, they're just in Dutch. And I really am looking forward to bringing them out in English, publishing in English.
you'll have to keep us posted if that happens.
Yes.
You know.
Will do. I will do.
What do you do during the day nowadays, Francis, apart from publishing cookbooks?
Well, I actually also still have a day job. I work part-time as well, but I do online cooking classes. And tomorrow night I actually have one. This week I have 3. I have one for spring rolls, for lumpias. Everybody loves lumpia. Is that what they call? What are they called in Malaysian, lumpias? You know, the spring rolls.
Popia.
Popia. Well, that's what we're doing this week. Tomorrow night, I actually have a pandan class, pandan old and pandan new. So we're having an authentic old Indonesian recipe for glutinous rice balls filled with Malacca. And we're making pandan's cream truffles. So we're doing something old, something new. And I also have on Friday a full day course. And we're doing something called putu ayu, and it's a Indonesian coconut steamed cake. So this is what I do, and just recently I've also been making sweet boxes. So they're boxes that go into the post, into the mail, and there are 7 elements in there to taste of authentic Indonesian cuisine and modern Indonesian cuisine, all sweets.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Very cool. Yeah. And how can people find you?
Well, I have 2 websites. I've recently made an English one called Food from Indonesia. It works. It's up and running. My Instagram as well. And my Dutch one is called Francis Bakt and Kookt. It's like you say it. It's Bakt, B-A-K-T, E-N, and then K-O-O-K-T. And it's obviously been there a lot longer. So on both places, both Instagrams, Facebook, internet, so my websites, there's content on both of them. So that's how I'm found. Okay, TV at the moment with Corona is a little, we're not doing a lot of filming at the moment because of the Corona safety measures that are being taken. But on social media, I can be found quite easily.
Brilliant. Okay, guys, make sure you look up Francis Kuijk, spelled K-U-I-J-K-T. Is that correct? K-U-I-J-K. J-K, sorry, K-U-I-J-K, Francis Kuijk, yes. Right? And have a look out for her cookbooks and also her websites and also her online cooking classes, guys. Thank you so much again, Francis. That was a really enjoyable session. And guys, if you want a copy of her recipe, make sure you sign up at our website, malaysianchefs.com/join today. We're going to get her to share her recipe and some photos of the Biji Salak with us in our upcoming e-magazine. Okay, thank you so much, Chef Joe. Thank you, Francis, and we will see you again soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Chef.
Thanks, Chef Joe. Bye.
Alright, jumpa lagi.